I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. An idea to move the Flagler County Sheriff's Office headquarters out of Bunnell draws swift criticism from Bunnell officials. City Manager Dr. Alvin Jackson.
It's not an option as far as the city of Bunnell is concerned. We feel that the mayor and the city commission is adamantly opposed to the sheriff's operations moving out the city of Bunnell, which is actually the county seat.
Jackson says the idea could create constitutional issues. He adds the sheriff's office has other options.
There are options that the county could look at. One, their existing site is to maybe demolish the building and build a new operations center there. Another option is looking at their existing campus or possibility of looking where the jail is.
The current building on the site of a former hospital has been vacant since June after employees filed claims saying their work environment made them sick. Testing found evidence of mold and water intrusion. Those workers' comp claims remain unresolved as the sheriff's office continues to operate in a decentralized manner in the courts building.
This portion of Flagler's Morning News brought to you by the Daytona Beach International Airport, Sunwing Airlines nonstop to Toronto, and starting in May, nonstop flights to New York City via American Airlines.
Some common ground found between a Flagler County lawmaker and the pastor of a local church working to help the homeless. Peter Killeen has more.
Flagler County Commissioner Joe Mullins welcomes Pastor James Bellino of Church on the Rock to his show Live, Shop, Play, which airs every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. on our station, WNZF. The two have been at odds over the church providing food, showers, clothes, and more to the area's homeless. Mullins has said, quote, taking them once a week to shower or eat once or twice a week, that doesn't help these people. It enables their situation. That's a handout, not a hand up. Once the two men hashed out their opinions on the show, Mullins said,
our faith is stronger than anything on this planet that humanly can come.
This is true. I left my boxing gloves out in the car, so we're good. We're good.
We're good.
Mullins went on to say government should lay out policies that help the homeless in a more meaningful way. Bellino admitted the right answer is a challenge.
Will we solve it? I don't know that we can, because there's going to be people that make those choices in life to live in that fashion.
Right.
But there are those that we can give a hand up to.
Hear the full interview Saturday, 9:30 in the morning, right here on WNZF, or listen to the podcast on WNZF.com. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Peter Killeen.
Mosquito season is upon us, and county health officials are urging you to take steps to avoid getting bit. Tony Magoo has the details.
With warmer weather on the way, the Florida Department of Health in Flagler County is warning all residents and those who visit to prevent mosquito bites. Last week, an emu that someone kept as a pet tested positive for Eastern equine encephalitis virus. This virus may be carried by mosquitoes and birds found in freshwater, swampy areas. Problem is, there are no human vaccines or preventive drugs for EEE, meaning the best protection against the infection is to avoid getting bit. With us on the phone is John Bay, who's the Executive Director of the Florida Department of Health in Flagler County.
Make sure that you're using a good mosquito repellent, something that's got DEET, long sleeve clothing.
What about your yard?
Trying to keep mosquitoes from breeding in and around your property. You want to drain and cover, so you want to make sure that, you don't have anything holding water.
Finally, how about around the home?
If you're keeping your, windows and doors open, you want to make sure you got effective screening in place.
For more information, call the Florida Department of Health in Flagler County at 437-7350. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Tony Magoo.
We've talked this week about how tourism and the Visit Florida funding could be affected in this year's legislative session. But what about tourism in Flagler County?
Matthew Dunn, the executive director of the Flagler County Tourist Development Office, says legislators need to fund Visit Florida.
We're definitely going to continue to fight for Visit Florida as an organization, first off, and secondly for full funding, because, as I mentioned earlier, the proof is in the numbers. We've been able to see that rise and see those tax collections as the years have gone on based on the support from the legislature.
Currently, Visit Florida is funded to the tune of about $75 million since former Governor Rick Scott wanted to give it an additional $25 million added to its base of about $50 million. State Senator Travis Hudson said he'll continue his support of $50 million or more. Representative Paul Renner said there are other monies that could support the Sunshine State's tourism endeavors. Both Renner and Hudson agree that funding for Visit Florida will be worked out later in the legislative session. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.